Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. I will say it is a lovely evening that the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. Just coming again with a little something, something. I will say that we have a lot of things going on that's taking place, which we all are fully aware of. But we also should not bypass the fact that the word of the Most High Yah is still yet being fulfilled. We're in a stage where we're not focusing on his prophecy and what he has spoken that shall come to pass. If we take out the time and really pay attention to his prophecy coming to pass and focus on the things in which he has prophesied that shall come to pass, we have a better picture of what we are about to go through and what we are going through. And because I don't see it, nor do I discern the fact that people are really focusing on the prophecy. They're pretty much focused on the daily news, the things that's going on in the world. Those things need be, he says. And when he says that to me, it's like a comforter, because during the time my mind be running and I be like, oh, this, and just one after the other. But he has to allow the comforter to comfort me, to do what it come to do. It comes to comfort. It is a comforter, and that's what it's coming to do. It's going to comfort you, and it can, but it's not. It can't comfort you when you're ready to use the comforter, or when you're ready to, or when you're in need for the comforter. The comforter is there within you, and it's there to comfort you, especially when you have behold the things in which the Most High Yah have said shall come to pass. Those things, he said, need be. He's telling me that the comforter is going to be there to comfort me while I behold these things, while I discern these things in which he should prophesy, which he has prophesied. And I love that, because I don't see how I can make it without the comforter being there to comfort me. I don't see how. I don't see it. I can't see any other way. I cannot see living, you guys, without the Most High Yah allowing his spirit to deal with me from the inside out. I thank him for not allowing me to really live from the outside in, because we can't get it that way. We can't get nothing that way, even though we think that's what it's really about. You can't get it that way. But 99.9 chooses to only accept that part. And in that is called suffering. I mean, suffering in a way that, not the way man considers suffering, but what you call hardcore suffering. And a lot of people can't see it, they can't feel it, but it's ever present. It's ever present. Why you say that, Sister Deborah? Because that's why the comforter comes to live in you, to comfort you for something. See, the things in which the Most High Yah has designed, ordained, predestined in his will, these things need, our flesh needs some sort of assistance. You know, because the flesh needs some sort of assistance. That's why the Ruach come to assist us. I'm going to say an example. Earlier today, I was on the highway and the Spirit began to deal with me about how we have, as a people, think that we have not fully have awakened, and we understand really what's going on. But he began to tell me about a time period, which he has spoken to me several times about. But this particular day today, he was dealing with me on what was taking place during the transition from out of the land of milk and honey to where we're at, our ancestors were brought to. And he wanted me to understand everything that he was about consists of the Ruach, the Ruach, Yeshua HaMashiach, the endurance, the long suffering, the faith, spirit and truth. All that was present way before being taken out as we were, how would I say it, being our land of milk and honey was taken over and seized. Before then, before we start scattering, running from our own land, he said we had everything we need, just like today. See, we want to make him change today for us because we want a change and we want him to change. But he's telling me today, see, Deborah, everything they needed, they had. They always did. See, he wasn't one that left us because we came over here. What he did was he didn't let that, how would I say it, that he let his will be done to us according to the reason why he allowed us to be our ancestors to come over to this land. But he never forsaken us. Never. Because throughout the whole Testament, he tells us how he was with us. So when we came over to this land, in spite of everything that was going on, it wasn't that he was not with us. It was just what he was allowing to come upon us. But you know what that was deep? What happened to that which was given to us? All those ways and those teachings of our forefathers. And because our forefathers, you guys, wasn't doing what they were doing in their own land of milk and honey. See, that's what people don't understand. The land in which he had gave our forefathers and had given them, we as a people have never recognized the fact that the ugliness of who we were didn't start when we came to this land where we want the whole world to think somebody took it from us and treated us a certain way, and they did this and they did that, they did this, and that's why we're the way that we are. No, you're the way that you are and were back in the old. So that, I think, is something that's so powerful that I noticed that has, since I've been 3 years on this platform, has never really fully been taught. They have, I say, you might heard it. If you had 100, you might heard it, say, 3 times out of 100, out of individuals. And they don't stick to it to where the people can get it. See, because it'll teach you not to, it'll teach you in a way that you can understand everything that has happened before you got over here and understand what actually took place while you were over here. Now, in it all, that's why it's important that he do what he's going to do as far as giving us, the individual, a new heart and a name. He's going to put a new name. Is because everything that we are consist of while we're on these platforms, even Sister Deborah, we might think that, hey, we got it, we A1 and we the apple, we the people, we the this and we the that. I myself cannot see a creator who have created all things from the beginning to the end. Allow Moses not to even go into the land, but yet going to allow the people that's on this earth today to bypass what is about to take place in this world today. I don't think we're going to escape, you guys. I really don't think that there's going to be any escaping. And I know a lot of people really thinking and hoping that, oh, we're gonna escape. No. You're gonna see great sorrow. You're gonna see judgment. You're gonna see purging. And you're going to see his mighty hand. Let me just lay it to you right now. You're going to see his mighty hand. When it's all said and done, you're going to see his mighty hand. And I want to let people understand one thing. This Most High is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. The reason why I know people are blind and have not awakened is because you can't awaken and not understand that he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Okay, so therefore, for him to escape I mean, for him to allow a day as we see it today to be a way of escaping and not be like he was yesterday, that's a lie from somebody's pit of hell, because he's the same. That means he's going to have those that's going to come, that's not going to tell you what you want to hear. That's not going to tell you what you want to feel. It's not going to tell you what you want to do. They're going to come and they're going to be like his sword, like a two-edged sword. One thing about that two-edged sword, it holds all truth on each end. You see, because it pierces all the way through the bone marrow. It is all truth, whether you like it or not. It has it on the tip. Okay, so therefore, those that he are assigning for the mission today, you all have to understand, those that he have chosen to work in this body of HALLULEYAH, they got a job. I mean, they are the one he's talking about, he that endure until the end, you know, because they have a job. They have a job from the Most High Yah. They have been hired by the Most High Yah to come here, to be able to look you in your eyes and tell you spirit and truth. Not give you what you want to feel. Not want to say the things that make a man feel good. Not wanting to say something to make a woman feel good. Because everyone that the Most High sent down to work on his behalf, not one was coming to play with you, to make you feel good, to make you think good, make you do good. No. That's why I know that 99.9 does not read the biblical on their own. They read only what man leads them to read, and precept for them to read, and line for them to read, and little here for them to read. Okay? And out of the mouth of himself, which is his flesh, does he teach you. But you don't have the ears to hear what the Most High is sending out of those who he's sending, just like it always been, same yesterday as it is today. These prophets is like unto me, like many of you would think that George Floyd and all these other people who died, you all put them up here as an example. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. This is where y'all at with them. But you give no, how would I say, assurance in the one that the Most High is sending. That's how it was back in the days. They listened to the one that was worldly, but they wouldn't listen to those who were the Yah was sending to speak unto you. Because those that Yah is sending to speak unto you, they come in strictly spirit and truth. That means they dealing from you from the inside out. But 99.9 don't know nothing about who they are on the inside. They don't know their spirit man. That's why he said, and the darkness couldn't comprehend the light. It's because the darkness don't want to comprehend the light. The darkness is your flesh. 99.9, these messages that's given to you, Sister Deborah can discern them. She can see, she can hear. She know that these messages are definitely gearing to the flesh. That's why when it comes as a two-edged sword to pierce, people don't want to hear it, because their flesh is what's trying to worship, the Most High Yah. So as he was showing me, he was wanting me to fully kind of grip. This is me coming home today, driving in, and he said that he wanted me to fully grip the idea of the mindset of the people. Okay, it's not the mindset of understanding really what took place that got them where they at. That's the awakening, is when you awaken to spirit and truth, you guys. Awakening is not when you wake up and think that, hey, I'm the apple of Yah's eyes. He been dealing with me in the last couple of days about how, Deborah, if they missed the beginning, they don't have no understanding of anything else. And that is so true. And it made me realize why he always chastised me from Genesis. He have always chastised me from Genesis. Let's say, for instance, any situation I get into, he would take me back to Genesis to show me, hey, this is what it was like when I brought it forth. You know what I'm saying? And then he, like say for instance, I get so bullheaded where I'm making it so hard to just see the basic things that he's saying to me, because see, the Ruach is a teacher of all things. So therefore, when the Ruach is teaching me, I got all these questions how to shut that down. Is he'll turn around and say, okay, in the classroom, we got a new guest. Who is the guest? Jeremiah, tell her, you know? And Jeremiah, it feels like Jeremiah's spirit is speaking to my spirit. You know, it is so deep. He'll turn around and say, Abraham, tell her what it was like. You know, it's amazing. He always saying that. He would get them to come into my spirit, and they begin to break it down as if they were right there and got me right there to understand it. That's the Ruach HaKodesh. That's the scholar. That's the teacher. That's the one we need to be learning from. Because when he comes, just imagine the power of being able to teach you all things. Tell me not if that's not powerful. And I'm not just talking about the things that's spirit and truth, but it will teach you the things that is before you so you can have some sense in your understanding. But if we as a people want to shoot down the messenger that he is sending, then that's wonderful for me, because it matches the day of yesterday. It is fulfilling. It is so together. They want to teach us the way they proceed what the Most High is saying, doing, his prophecies. They want to teach us everything that the Ruach HaKodesh has been missioned to do. Sister Deborah, that's who I lean to. Heck, when I get in a situation, who you think come comfort me? You think these people on this teaching? But they are. They are comforting many thousands on these devil platforms. Because people get on here, they get reared up for the Sabbath, the Wednesday, the Friday night. They get reared up to hear these people over, to get comfort in their flesh. And when it's all said and done, they go back to their weekly, daily activities. Stress, trying to figure out why this is this and this is this. It's because the mission of the Comforter was a mission to keep us, to keep the commandments still in us. See, a lot of people don't understand. That's why I say in the flesh, you can't hold no commandments. Only one can hold the commandments in you is Hamasiah's power with the teaching of the Ruach HaKodesh. Outside of that, you ain't got nothing within you. So going back, I know I'm all over the place and I love it. I'm coming home and he's telling me this. So it makes a lot of sense what he's actually saying, you know, and that, as it always, you know, Deborah, you know, they simply don't get it. I've been with them even when I was dealing with the Gentiles. I gave them a time period, but I always been with them. I always had the light on because he could not have forsaken us. Let me tell you why. Because this thing didn't start with you in the year 2000s, 1999, 1989. No, it didn't start with you. This thing started way back in the beginning. In Genesis, where he said the flaming torch, he have always kept it lit every way so you may find your way. And then when Yeshua HaMashiach came, hallelujah, now that which was out of us now live in us. Tell me who they brought on that ship. You get what I'm saying? Nobody. Because their heart was so wicked and evil. It didn't take the United States to know the four corners of slavery to bring us where we at. We were there already. Let me set that down. I'm going to tell you what he's saying to my spirit now. He said, tell them when he had heard the cries of Israel and did the whole makeup of Moses' birth and going in, raising. Look how much time it took. He had heard the cries And once he heard the cries, look at all that time that he used to bring up Moses, his mother he can be conceived, bring him up. He go into Pharaoh's family as a baby, raised up. Let's look all that time. Leave Pharaoh, Egypt, go back into his people, come back to Egypt. Look at all that time. Had to go to Pharaoh to warn Pharaoh that the Most High said, let the people go. These were years, you guys. When he was conceived, had his baby, his mother had him, and he was let loose to travel in I forgot the name of that thing they had him in. And Egypt, the daughter of one of the Pharaoh had taken him in and raised him. Those were years, you guys. So that's how long he turmoiled with us. So it's not an overnight thing like everybody thinking, and as everybody treat the awakening. What have you, Sister Deborah, going to say this because she said this on several videos. What have you awakened to? Stupidity, nonsense. Because awakening, you have to look, if you're going to call something to or be awakened, you have to come to the terms awakened to spirit and truth. Because that's the true awakening. The true awakening is spirit and truth. Meaning the truth of everything which is spirit, which was what first spirit before it was natural. So you have to get the spiritual aspect of it and the truth of it from the spiritual aspect to understand it today. So what we did is we felt so comfortable, and even to today, 99.9, standing on this platform, listen to somebody tell us and be our comforter. That's why we run to it and get it and eat it and eat it and eat it, because we so malnutrition in the flesh till we have nothing to give our spirit and don't care long as our flesh is fed. And that's why we're not sitting and walking and talking and feeling in the spiritual realm of spirit and truth. So he was showing me how he has always been there for them. You know, he said, now man has become knowing good and evil. But let me tell you something outright that. And that is, if you could take from the tree of life and eat of it, the tree of life is the Most High Yah, and eat of him, spirit and in truth. You see, and that's the true awakening. And that's where the mindset is not today. Now, because of that, this is why we are hearing so much and so much. And it's really to the point where I say, Father, Yah, they don't even need the book, because the sense of where they're at is not spiritual. They need you and you only. Dealing with you from the inside out. I want to tell you all something. It is no such thing where we're at today, Babylon coming down. Babylon is halfway down. You're just too ignorant to see it. You see, there's so much going on in this country that people are blind to every step of the Antichrist and the work of the enemy. Every step everyone is blind to. Why? Because they got a spirit of awakening to stupidity. A spirit of awakening to those things which are in the flesh. The spiritual they got a spirit of awakening to ignorance. They don't have a spiritual awakening to spirit and truth, nor do they desire it. So I love the way the Most High is really, and how he have prophesied everything to go, because that there is really what it's all about. And I'm going to tell y'all, you have to know that you know what it feels to have a comforter. Because say, for instance, if something is going to happen 2 weeks from now, you know that comforter will prepare you from the inside out to be able to handle that in the flesh when it hits you. That's that comforter I have come to know since I was a little girl. So that comforter is not someone, it's not something that's present once I get in the church, or I stand before a pastor, or I stand before a man, somebody that rude. No, the comfort is a mission in itself of the Most High Yah himself. So why would he set me up from the floor up to be a failure in understanding him. And it's because you have to get beyond the stupidity and understand his love. You ain't gonna understand his love and his mercy and his grace. You know, I sit back and think about how I'm not entitled to nothing from this Most High God. Nothing. I'm no better than nobody. I'm not afraid to speak of who I am. And when I say who I am who I say I am. And that is who I am has made me to be. I think the Most High don't ever let people who have ruined their life and continue to ruin their life and many others that they came up with. Don't let them ruin your life. You got a life. And when I say, I hate to say life, I really do. Because really the life was the light of Yah. So life is really the Most High Yah's breath of life. So I would say my being, I don't want to just live my life saying that I'm awakened and I'm so dead sleep as if I'm in the midst of darkness, you know, in the reality of my spirit. You know, I want to share with people that this thing is real, you know, and if they didn't have any respect for the Most High Yah elects, then they ain't gonna have it today. It's gonna even be worse. So a lot of times that when I say they're killing our prophets, they're killing them in a different form of killing our prophets. Because I believe our men are out there. I believe it without a doubt. But what a lot of people don't understand, prophets, let's say male prophets, they're not going to master the book. The book is not there for them to master. If the book was for them to precept the line and the little here, they be getting bombarded with all things that comes out of the mouth of man. That's why it's important when you're doing your study to take your Bible, okay? Highlight what comes out of the mouth of Yah with your favorite color. Whatever your favorite color of marker you have, go back. Then you highlight it to where it's not, get that color, like say if your color is, say green, get that highlight green that allows you to still read what the word is saying so the word can come out of the green. But when you hear Yah speak, highlight that. Highlight it quick. I suggest that if you get your Bible, get you a new Bible. Start to highlight everything Yah said. Let's kick to the curves, the precept. Let's kick to the curves, the little here. Let's kick to the curves, a line here and a line here. You know? Let's kick to the curve that. Let's kick to the curve all these extra books. Because these extra books don't bring no salvation. These extra books don't bring no deliverance. These extra books does not bring you to Yah's bosom. And that's the power. These extra books carry no power. Okay? These books are books that they are constantly, one man is now bringing the Mormon book. Every book that gives them some idea in their awakening, I call it in their ignorance. It's not a fully awakened. I think we in a time period of awakening, but it's spirit and truth, you guys. The awakening Yah would not have for you to awaken in your consciousness and be ignorant in spirit and truth. It is impossible. But Deborah, it need be. That's that comforter when he said that to me, just wanted me to know that it's okay, Deborah. It's okay for them to be in the state of mind that they are in, because just imagine, this is what he said to me now. Just imagine me being him, being the creator of all things from the beginning to the end, knowing all things, where it's at today, where it's going to be tomorrow, where it was yesterday, sitting amongst people that can't see not one lick of his power and who he is. 99.9 don't even know who Christ is. 99.9 don't even know who Jesus is, Yeshua, who Christ is, Hamasiah. It's not about the name that you are calling it. It is the power that rests within you that knows who you're speaking of. See, that's why you can't worship him in all these different names. Because the name is a name, you guys, that comes from the spirit of who you are, not the flesh. So it's not the flesh name that you have captured. It's not the flesh name that you have understood and you think that you got. Look at here. When you came to your awakening, have you not realized that all the Hebrew Israelites on these platforms, every one of them got a different way of Yahuwah's name. Spelled different, pronounced different, everything. And even calling everybody else is not the right name. But the Most High said to Sister Deborah, when they come before me from judgment, they're going to use that same name they thought they could use here. But I'm going to tell you never knew me. So not even that name you manipulate people to believe that they had it wasn't good enough. Because that name, you didn't know it. You didn't know me. Because there's no way you're going to enter before the throne of the Most High and not have that name. Because he said at the end, he's going to put it in us. So therefore, a new name. Because they didn't smear the other name to the point where they ain't got it still until the day he turned around and he give us a new name. Praise the Most High God. Praise his power, his anointing. Praise his prophecies, his everything from the beginning and the end. Praise the Most High God. See, and he knows when I say that. Say, for instance, if I say, praise God, praise the Lord. Do you know it don't matter what I say out of this mouth or how I pronounce his name? I'm so in the inner man, not the outer. See, we've been taught that what we say and do and how we act from the outer man make us who we are with God. And it does not. Never did and never will. And that's why when we came over to these land where we was in captivity, we didn't bring none of him in us. Hallelujah. Because even to today, we run around here saying we awakening. We didn't know this. We didn't know that. What you mean all that information Moses gave us and our forefather? What you mean they didn't know it? They came. He gave them the land of milk and honey and Abraham, everything he said to Abraham. What you mean you didn't know it? He just brought you here and left you in the fullness of your ignorance. No, he's greater in us and always was. Even on them ships to get over here. Even when we were they sieged our land and we was running all over the place. You can run, you can hide. But let me tell you something. What Yah put in us remains. Still yet that comforter. When they was going all over the place to find, because they was taking the land of what Yah had given them. God has allowed them to come and take the land and use all over the place. Why didn't you take Yah with you? Because back then you wasn't right. Like today, you're not right. You're still following the same one who lost the land of milk and honey. You're still that same forefather mindset. And I just thank him. Thank you, Most High, for bringing all who you are into those that you already knew. See, if he hadn't predestined this thing would try to rule him like it's trying to do now. It's trying to make him who they said he is because they got a new awakening. We trying to make him who we want him to be. We have excluded his power, his authority, his might. We have smeared his name and thinking that, if you say it this way, say it that way. Or if you look this way and you look that way, if you wear yourself all wrapped up, then Yah sees beyond all of that. He don't see the flesh when he see Deborah. He don't see the flesh when he see me. He see his spirit. He see his spirit. His predestined tool that he has invested. He don't see Deborah as, she perfect in the flesh. She got her head wrapped. She got her clothes all tied up. And she's got her friend. He got his fringes on. No. You're not awakening. You dead sleep. And you want me to tell you what dead sleep is? Let me give you an example. In the Bible, I'm going to tell you, this is how I am. I guess this is just how he made me. I asked him, I said, wait a minute. One time he said he put Abraham down And he called it the down. It was like the darkness, like a mist of a cloud or something like that. But he said in the deepest darkness. I was like, wait a minute, where are you taking Abraham? That's dead sleep. That's where the people are at today, even though they feel that they saw awakening. Because right now, you know what we're supposed to be doing? We're supposed to be beholding his prophecy. You know, loving on one another in the way that we're bringing his love and his mercy at the foot of people, serving. On this devil platform, they serve the devil. They get a check after they get on here and feed you fleshly things, you guys. Everything that feeds the flesh, they give unto thee. What do you need? Your spirit is malnutrition. It's anorexia. That's what I say. Your spirit is anorexia. Because they feed you from the outside, trying to give you something in the inside. And they don't understand, nor do you, because you're so awakening to you dead sleep. Isn't that deep? Because if you're not awakening to spirit and truth, then what are you awakening to? What is flesh? And that's the same mindset that they had when he took their land from them and they were scattered running. And he led them to on the ships, brought them on the four corners to be slaves. Because your mentality then is what your mentality has been since you've been in the land of your captivity. So therefore, it makes people see the outer mission and not the inner. Let me say that again. It makes you see the outer mission and not the inner. See, he was using the outer mission of you being in captivity to tamper with your inner mission. Let me say that example. When he was sending Moses to Pharaoh, and he was telling Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go, the reason why must be, Deborah, it must be that I hardened Pharaoh's heart because I was still dealing with a people. I wanted them to see my powers. I wanted them to see my glory. So I'm going to let these here locusts and all these other things interfere with Pharaoh and his army. But this ain't going to happen to my people. So the people wasn't supposed to see. They supposed to see and look over to what was going on with Pharaoh, the locusts and the things that the Most High was put on Moses. So that's why Moses' heart was hardened, so he wouldn't let the people go. So the Most High would cause a people to look, to see what I'm doing on your behalf. Can you discern that I'm doing it to them, but not to you? Can you love me because of what I'm doing to them for what they did to you? That's how it is today. Same way today. So that lets me know in the spirit realm, this need be, Deborah. Everything that you're actually seeing need be, because the cries of the people have not been heard. But the cries of Israel was heard from the heavens. But look at all them years, how he planted the steps of Moses, the birth of Moses and so on, before they were able to come out. See, you all thinking he's just gonna, we got it, we free, we gonna walk. No. Go back to his prophecy. Take it over again. Read it. But you can't read it out of your natural being, because that's what they're reading to you on these platforms. And in the process of it, they're reading you from your fleshly end, and your spirit is not getting it. Your spirit is still anorexia. Okay? I mean, it has no food, spirit, and truth. And that's really what we need today. So if you don't know what it feels like to really walk this day and time in spirit and truth, the only one you can do is go by what somebody else is telling you, and who I always and always will put first. The one thing I heard someone say is always about you. Let me tell you something. That saying, let me tell you, from my mother, that whom I came out of my womb, out of her womb, to my children today, will tell you, the last person on this earth that has allowed life to be about them would be me. And I'm talking from the birth mouth of the one that birthed me. Always used to get on me. Why are you giving? Why are you doing for people? You'd give your head if it wasn't screwed. I'm a giver. I'm a servant. And I know who I am in y'all. And I didn't come to know who I am in y'all when y'all come to know you a Hebrew Israelite. I knew I was something in him at 4 years old. And I'm going to keep saying that to let you know. I'm just not no hand-picked, man-made prophetess, self-made. I'm strictly picked by the Most High Yah before the foundation of the world, and I don't have to prove it to you. That's how bold he is resting within me. I don't owe you nothing but to speak what the Most High put in me. And I don't owe you that. I owe it to him to be obedient. So I, Sister Deborah, would say, I know I was all over the world, but that's all right. I want to say this here too. A lot of us are not looking and focusing on what's really going on in the world. When I see these locusts over in Africa, in Asia, and in the Middle East, come on, y'all. Come on. Africa is trying to stand tall and be, really, I'm going to be honest, they're trying to represent themselves as the chosen children as well. We have our people over in Africa, just like on the four corners. That means it has to cover, our people have to cover the whole world. So Africa have some of our people there. But Africa is not the apple of the Most High Yah's eye. Strangers, yes, they can be. But they are not the one that Yah has chosen as his children, as his daughter, as his bride. Let's put it like that. We got to put that thing where it belongs. Even though they're taking advantage of everything because of the melanin skin, I think, in who we are in the sense of our outer man. They're trying to make it look like we pretty much fall in the same. And the country do deal with them sometimes on the line of dealing with them because of their skin. They kind of match it with the children of the Most High, not the children, let's say, the children, the bride of the Most High. They try to match it, and that's how they can kind of feel that they're in there, because the world is treating them like they treat us as well. But what people don't know, Africa played a big role and supported a lot of things Europeans have ever done, that have even supported the way they did things and have killed their own people based on the European control. And they did it just, I say, comfortable. They did, when I say comfortable, they did it as if it was all well and good. Now they're trying to make it seem as if, the European is attacking us and they bringing these things into our country. I'm going to tell you all something. It ain't about whether you believe me or not. The Most High already told me it need be, Deborah, that you say what I give you to say and do what I tell you to do. It's not about what someone wants to say and say what they need to just say what they want to say, because if I haven't prophesied them in, they still is in darkness, speaking what they call light to the flesh. A lot of this stuff in Africa is taking place because of what Africa have done. They have been like unto the European in their spirit, okay? And the Most High Yah have seen them. That's why when you see the locust and so on, it's really sending a sign. Because don't forget, the signs of the plagues that Moses took to Pharaoh, went over to Pharaoh saying and let the people go. Those plagues were designed for an area only. It wasn't designed for the children of Israel. See, it didn't come over in their area. So when you see locusts in Africa, you have to understand what is going on in Africa. Okay, it is something that Africa is not and have done and has continued to do. Okay, so when you see these locusts, these are the signs of the Most High Yah Okay. A lot of us won't expound on it because we're so busy telling people about things that don't mean nothing. Okay. A lot of stuff that's going on, and I can, when I start listening to the news and everything, he said to me, now, see, didn't I tell you to stay away from that? And he told me to stay away from all the media. He said, haven't I told you? But it's like, even if I stay away, I'm always updated. And people say, well, how did you know? It ain't because I'm watching it. It's because the Ruach is a revealer. It's to show you things to come. It don't need the world news to do that. It is all power that rests in the Most High God's teaching. Okay? So therefore, when it's revealing things and it's comforting me and it's showing me things to come, that don't have nothing to do with channel CNN. That don't have nothing to do with MBS. It don't have nothing to do with CBS. It don't have nothing to do with all these channels that is owned by the underground power, which is evil. See, you all need that. And that's what I feel sad about people that's on these platforms. They grab all the dirt that's on the top of the world and don't get enough of what's coming in spirit and truth from the Ruach to give the people. Because if we focus on what is spirit and truth, it would overpower the information we're getting in the world. Because don't forget, we're living in the world. We see these things. We hear these things. These things are before us. So we don't need to cater to everything that's going on in the world. We need to cater to what is spirit and truth, because that's what's going to keep us. And when all this stuff is kicking in, because it's kicking in. And I thank the Most High, because it's not that he's going to say, Deborah, you're going to escape it. No. He don't rumble that way. But I'm going to escape it. Because long as I know spiritual and truth of the matter of what is, was, and shall be, I have already escaped what you all about to experience. See, because the spirit and truth come to comfort you in the midst of it all. And in this process of comforting you, it's come to teach you all things, meaning this is how it is, this is the way it's going to go, and this is why it is, and let's rumble out of it. You see? So you have to be able to defeat the things that's coming on the world and in the world by the inner man, okay, which is the Ruach HaKodesh in your spirit, which is your life. And he bring these things to you. So when he's telling me to stay away from the news, it's because my flesh is overwhelmed and overburdened what is actually going on. And then as I sit amongst people and talk, I realize I know more than they know without doing all the search in which they are searching. Why? Because the hidden things is spirit and it's truth. And it comes from the inner man through the Ruach HaKodesh and the power of Hamashiach. Okay? So I want to say unto you, we as a people who still are so far distanced from the Most High Yah and call ourselves awakening, you need to lay down, go to sleep, and wake up again. And this time, wake up in spirit and in truth. Because if you're waking up in the natural of your sleep and thinking, let me get to this YouTube and let me get to Facebook and Instagram and Patriots and hear what so say, you still sleep and lost in the midst of your sleep without a cause. So because any awakening should be spirit first, because the spirit has to lead you to what is true. You can't find truth without the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh. There's no truth that rests in you without it. Because the truth that we think we know, if we think it's in the Bible and that's just it, you're lost without a cause. And don't let you add all the books that they didn't brought into the scenery. Oh, don't let you add the precept and the line in the books. Because if you really think, give me the verses where every apostle, prophet, evangelist, teacher came out of the books in precept and in line and in little here and little there. You ain't gonna see it. Because when the Ruach comes, hallelujah, everything that you are to learn gonna rest in you. So that's why I say unto you, when I'm amongst people and I haven't heard with this on the news and this on the news and this on the news, or I'm not focusing on the news of the world, But yet I can sit down and hold a conversation with 10 people and be ahead of them in what they're saying. It's because I'm coming spirit, you guys. I'm coming with truth. The truth doesn't rest in what your fleshly eyes sees and your fleshly ears hear. It's what your spiritual eyes sees and your ear. He that has an ear, not two, hear. Not ears, what your ears hear on these devil platforms. What your ears hear on Instagram, Facebook, and Patriot and all these other platforms. You see? It's not that. So it makes sense to me why he tells me over and over, stay away from the news, Deborah, stay away from the news. Because the more if I decide to lay down and relax and turn on the TV and say, let me remember, watch the news, watch the weather, or whatever, or even watch the news after he told me, he's not saying I can't watch it. He said, don't put your focus on that. Just like on these platforms, don't go on this platform searching for people to be saying what you're saying. Or be understanding what you understand. Don't go searching on these platforms for people who's no color, who's the same color that you are, the nation that you are. Don't go searching for all of that, because this thing, Deborah, is spirit, and it is truth. Because when he taught me, probably 23 years ago, somewhere in there, how you can hear me through the bark of a dog. I can send you a message through a dog. I was like, wait a minute. A dog? And he put me on blast. I was walking to the store, and lo and behold, I heard a dog. And the bark of this dog was vicious, but it was power. And I couldn't understand, but I could understand. I couldn't understand, but I could understand. I could hear what he was saying. And he was not saying like words of what we were saying. He was saying warning, 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 warning. And that's all I could hear out of that bark. But the bark was nowhere near me. Nowhere near me. And how he fulfilled that, he began to tell me, when you at first he asked me, did you hear it? I said, I heard it, but what is wrong with him? What is going on with him? Why is he barking like that? He said, Deborah, always understand that I come in many ways. I can come to that dog to warn you, or anybody. And that evening, I went to the laundromat, and I came up on a man that was drunk. And he was washing his clothes, and he began to talk about the Most High God. And then at that time, you had a young guy, couldn't have been no more than 23. He said he was a prophet, and his wife was a prophetess. They come criticizing him. When they got done, I stepped in. Hey, there it was. How dare you criticize him? I'm a prophetess. You say your wife is a prophet. You say you a prophet. We didn't come up talking about the Most High God. But this man that's in his drunkenness began to spark the conversation about how good he is, how great God is. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't say that, even though we say we know it. We want to run around here and hold these positions. But we're not proclaiming God like this drunk man is. So how are we to sit and say who he is? Meaning that's what the whole dog thing was. He was giving me another lesson. Just because this man is drunk and not in his right mind, very negative to his son that was helping him, but he was speaking about the love and what God has been to him. Very clear. So he's saying, just because a person, Deborah, hold a title does not mean they are all that and some. I can come in any form. I can come in a dog, and I can come in a drunk man. So the conversation and the argument was about the man that was drunk and the man that said he's a prophet and his wife was a prophetess. They were arguing. And I stepped in the scene. And that's how we sum this thing up, is when I stepped in the scene and began to give them what the Most High gave me regarding the dog. And how dare you, as one that said you're called as this and as that, criticize he that's looketh and appeared to be a drunken or whatever you all say that he is. But who's speaking about the goodness? Who's speaking about the great power of the Most High God? You see, you don't know how the Most High's mission or his power come in to teach you these things. So when you're looking at a certain person, don't think it. Because I remember being out on the streets feeding the homeless. I mean, you talking about the word in the spirit form. They can tell you that word. They don't need to precept you up. They don't need to precept you down. They don't need to line you a little here, a little there. Their testimonies speak for who they know. See, that's what people don't understand. There's testimony that tells who you are. And when Sister Deborah is on here talking about her children and saying things about her, understand, those are testimonies. If you knew my testimony, you know what you would probably say. Surely, if she ain't a prophet of God, she's somebody. Because of the things I've gone through, my testimonies speaks louder than your words. You see? So therefore, I, Sister Deborah, don't want to hold you long. I know I went past. I was planning on just going 15 minutes, but I thank the Most High for the time that he has given me to sit before you and just give you what I call a little something, but it's a little bit more than something. But I thank the Most High, and those that are out there that are struggling with many things and many issues, understand the Most High is allowing many things to go on around the four corners of the earth. The most powerful thing to me right now, being a prophetess in the wilderness, that I behold is the fact that everything has taken its course and no one can see it. And that bothers me more than anything. But he keeps telling me through that comforter, it need be, Deborah. It needs to be this way. Okay, so he's really telling me this in my spirit man to tame my flesh man, to not to get all uptight about it. The fact that all this is before our face and everybody is ignoring it. It's because everybody have took the cares of the world and impacted and bombarded in the minds of the people where they can't see spirit and truth. They can't see exactly why these things is and what is actually going on. So that's why he sent his. And he sent his to cross all his dots and his T's, because he don't have to cross no T. He don't have to cross no dot, because he is the T and the dot, upside down and on every side, any way it turned. So therefore, I like the way he rumbled, because he gives you the fullness of everything. He don't cut short on nothing. If you need this, he got it right there before you. So when you run around and trying to capture all the issues of the world, it's nothing wrong with watching the news and capturing the issues of the world, but put them in the right content, spirit and truth. Make sure you are lining up in spirit and truth in the inner man. It's time to be about what you are from the inner man, not so much of what you are on the outer man, because they're trying to dress us up real pretty on the outside, and we're walking hell in the inside. We ain't even going back. When you get the chance to go back in your life and correct some things, get your butt back there and correct it. It's called grace and mercy. It is allowing you to go back to change those things. And I don't care what you got to give up to change it. Give it up to change it. If you don't go back to clear up something and you know it's still present before you, then you're a time bomb waiting to blow in your own mind. In your own mind. So I, Sister Deborah, will say unto you, there's a lot of things going on, and I'm going to cover that tomorrow morning, hopefully tomorrow morning, if it be the Most High Yah's will. There's too much going on, and everybody is when I say everybody, it's when he's allowed me to say everybody, and 99.9, it's actually saying the greater number is doing these things. Okay, so when you say that, you have to also understand, he said, broad is the gate to destruction and narrow to righteousness. You see what I'm saying? So it's no way Sister Deborah is saying something out of herself, or putting herself somewhere. If you know what Sister Deborah has endured to understand the things that she does understand in spirit and truth. I didn't do it in my flesh. I did it through him. in the spirit of who he is, that is spirit and truth. So our sister Deborah would say it's a lot of things going on in the world, and we need to hear the spiritual side of things, that spirit and truth, along with the things that is natural. When people teach you things in the natural of what is going on in the world, if they don't cap it up with everything rest in the power of the Most High Yah on top of it, then you still lost without a cause. And the awakening that you are in, yes, you have awakened, but it's to ignorance. So shalom and shalom.